And I'm waiting.
This is a Heritage Hip Hop exclusive. This is a Heritage Hip Hop exclusive.
Yo, guess who's back with Off the Record, live here on Heritage Hip Hop. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Off the Record, the show on Heritage Hip Hop where not only we celebrate the MCs and the producers that make projects, we are album or project specific on here, and we talk about not only the creation of it, but the minds that came together to create it. So welcome to Off the Record. Today we are going to talk about the album Chain Reaction by my brother Len Dor, my other brother Travisty the Lazy Emcee, and my brother, co-host of the Mic Council, DJ Kawon. Before we get into that, make sure you hit the like button. Comment, because your comments will be a part of the show. Make sure you share the video. If you're watching this on Instagram, please join us on the YouTube, because Instagram's doing something crazy. It's remixing the screen. Join us on YouTube so you can be a part of the conversation. Right now, I'm gonna let the fellas talk. And we got a comment already. All right, we good. So, my peoples, let me ask y'all a question. How y'all doing tonight? And we live. I'm surviving shot Jersey. That Chicago Jersey snow is crazy. How are y'all doing tonight? What's going on?
Chilling. Nah, I'm doing good, man. It's cold up here, but I'm maintaining. I don't got the snow like you, so just trying to stay warm, just living life. You know the deal.
Yeah, it's just windy and a little warm here. So, but I'm not gonna say much after that because y'all going through it, correct?
Yo, I'm about to remix this whole thing, yo. Hold up, y'all.
And shout out to my brother Len Dor, man.
Y'all see that, ladies and gentlemen? Y'all see that, ladies and gentlemen? Y'all see that, ladies and gentlemen?
He's checking in.
There it is.
We live in effect. Len Dor.
What's up?
Yo,
swimming, yo.
Nah, bro. It's just the winter here is so bad for plumbing, bro, that the pipes expand.
Yeah.
So when they expand, they pop, but you just don't know where they pop. So I just had to call the city, and the city sent a guy, and I have to turn off the main from inside of the house and outside of the house. So I got no water, bro. I got no water at all. None.
Yeah.
Shout out to 2026 winter.
Surrounded by water with no water.
Crazy.
Oh boy.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's Len Dor. You know my brother Len Dor, Canada in the building.
What's up? What's up, Kareem? What's up, Karev?
I think everything happened on God's time, because I was stressing that we started late with all the stuff I'm going through in the house, and then here you go, the complete show. You know what I'm saying?
And what's crazy, my wife is in Florida on a business with doing something.
Oh shoot! In Florida,
like that.
It didn't move.
Sorry about that. That's people
trying
to go through. My bad. I'm the only one here kind of deal with all this shit. So a lot of phone calling, a lot of back and forth and all that stuff, bro. It's crazy.
That's all right. Let's talk hip hop, man. That'll make our day.
Yeah, let's go. I'm ready.
All right, so let's talk a little bit of hip hop, ladies and gentlemen. Len Dor and Trav put together an album curated by DJ Kawon called Chain Reaction. If y'all see it on the screen, it's up there at the top somewhere. Chain Reaction on the new Off the Record setup. Thank you, Chat GPT. You know what I'm saying? And this album is inspired by a classic movie, White Men Can't Jump, starring Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson, and one of the best ever, Rosie Perez.
Yes, sir.
So I want to talk about Chain Reaction, because the Chain Reaction is a stream of events that happen because one thing happens after another. Tell me, how did the title of this come, and how did the inspiration for making this project come together?
I'll let Len talk about the title, and I can tell you about the inspiration.
So I'm a big fan of 90s and 80s movies, right? I'm a huge fan of it. Chain Reaction came from Morgan Freeman and Keanu Reeves. They have a movie where they were trying to stop, I think, some type of a disease from happening on a chemical nature. I can't remember the whole theme of it though, but the premise of me kind of like using this name is because of the interracial concept between Travis and I. And that ties into White Man Can't Jump, where basically two people from two different backgrounds trying to solve a problem. So that's how I saw, you know, the concept or the name for this album. Because when Trav and I, we started working together, we realized we have that chemistry on bars and also in personality, how we get along or whatever. So that's what kind of made it, you know, kind of like made it easy to name this project Chain Reaction.
Yeah, so it came together. So I was when we were recording 3 different projects at one time. At one point, it was me and Trav was wrapping up "What a Time to Be Alive," and so I would send some joints to Len, so you can hear what we working on or whatever. And then Len was kind of like, "Oh, that'd be dope if me and Trav could get together on something." So we started kicking around that idea. Trav was down, and they started recording that. And then, you know, life was happening a little bit for Trav with his move, you know, his personal move from state to state. So that kind of got put to the side for a little bit. And then we started working on that Requiem project. And then everything kind of started coming together where he's wrapping up this project. Me and Trav was wrapping up that project. And then him and Len locked in to finish off this project right here. So it was literally just kind of me kind of moving the pieces a little bit and just kind of, you know, pitching some ideas here and there. And then, like always, the fella's always down to work. So that's how we got to this, I think, classic album of 2026.
That's interesting because if you look at the inspiration of the movie, White Men Can't Jump is very layered.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a regular movie because people think about it, say, oh, it's basketball. But through basketball, you have competition, you have trust, betrayal, you have to show up and be present, you can force a play or you could take a charge, but the bottom line is you have to score. Now me, I'm a psychologist, so I look at things a little intricately, right? So when you look at White Men Can't Jump, right, the one thing that gets me throughout the whole movie is it's a dichotomy of the hustle, trust, and mutual respect. So the MCs, I want to ask y'all, how does trust, mutual respect, and even the hustle come across in this project to y'all two, as y'all are the embodiments of Billy and Sydney on this album?
Trav, you go first.
Word. Well, you know what I mean? You know, the name obviously developed, like you said before, off just, you know, the interracial type of, you know, relationship or whatever you want to call it here. You know what I mean? And, you know, I guess it's really just 2 like-minded individuals, you know, who dig similar beats, dig similar interests. You know what I mean? We kind of, how this developed was kind of like Kawon like sent us a beat pack and we were just kind of like, we both kind of picked out the same beats that we were like, yo, which joints you feeling? And he's like, yo, I like these. I was like, we pretty much had the similar beats we picked out. And then we were kind of like, you know, let's just start making something dope. And it evolved into, you know, the White Men Can't Jump kind of theme. But originally it was just us being like-minded individuals, just picking out dope joints and just saying like, yo, let's just make some dope shit and see what kind of comes through of it. And then the theme came across it and we were able, you know, both being fans of the movie, we were both able to incorporate pieces of the movie, you know, to add with the music and kind of fit it all together.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's as Trav said, he's right. I mean, it was just easy though. That's one thing I remember with the whole starting of this process. It was easy. We didn't have much difference in opinions, and we understood what the assignment was. And I mean, shout out to Kawon too, right, for giving us some amazing beats too, right? Like some of the beats were very fitting to some of the themes that we wanted to use. So it was just natural, Karev. It wasn't really much overthinking at all. It just gelled. We had no issues whatsoever no creative issues, no differences as much. And us being fans of the 90s too, I'm a big fan of the 90s and of that era. You know, it just felt like we fit in. Everything was just peace.
And even to add to it, as the album evolved and we came up with the White Man Can't Jump theme, going with it, you could see even how certain songs evolved into it with the Take Charge, Full Court Press, you know, type of themes. You know what I mean? Just to add to what we were building.
Yeah.
But the foundation was just built off of just dope shit.
Salute to everybody in the room watching this. Make sure you hit the like button, please. We want the algorithm to pick this up. But why did we need this project? Because it's very easy when like-minded individuals could come together. It's very easy when that happens. But why? Why was this necessary?
Man, this was necessary, bro, because you got Trav's got one of the illest voices along with Len, right? So I always joke and say, yo, this is the collaboration you didn't even know that you needed till you hear it, right? So I think it's kind of like one of those Red Man, Method Man type joints. It's kind of like, oh, we can do that. You know what I'm saying? We can put something together like that. And you know, with me and Len's success in the past with Beacon in the Dark, and then me and Trav was working on What a Time to Be Alive. To me, it made sense, but to put them together, man, just because, like you said, they're two unique voices, and I didn't even know what it was gonna sound like together. You know what I'm saying? But I knew there was that mutual admiration for the style of music and beat selection that they would probably pick. You know what I mean? So it was just me kind of wanting to just hear these two brothers rock a song together, and then it just evolved into what we got today.
Let's flip this though, because you got a Boom Bap alumni hat on. Talk about the Boom Bap alumni and talk about what these gentlemen mean to the Boom Bap alumni.
All right, so Boom Bap alumni, it started off on the mixtape show. That's usually what I would call my weekly guest. You know, I was like, hey, if you're a guest on here, you Boom Bap alumni, come on back anytime you want, you know, and that's still one of the pillars of the show. So we just kind of taking that idea and we're making it, and I wanted to make it like a bigger thing because I can say it and it's cool to tell artists to come on back anytime. So I wanted to utilize this to be a jumping point of this is what I mean by this is what Boom Bap alumni is. These an elite group of MCs and creatives that we're putting together slowly but surely. And you know, it's a movement, man. It's starting to gel into a nice little movement. Everybody, you know, we don't have any ties to each other where like you have to do this with us or you have to rock with us or you have to do this. This is just a bunch of creators coming together, and whenever we all come together on certain projects together, you know, we under that Boom Bap alumni branch where you know you're gonna get quality music, you're gonna get quality presentation, you're just gonna get top quality everything, man. We want to show the indie scene that if you have a group of individuals who are like-minded, who see the bigger picture, who want to put out the dope presentation, and who wants to you know, show you that even though this isn't a signed group or a label or anything like that, we can compete with the big dogs whenever we feel like it. You know what I mean? And I think when this thing started with me and Condu with the Heat tape a year and a half ago, it just evolved, man. You can literally see from each release how things just started growing. And I'm sure we'll talk about it later, Karev. We just getting started, bro. The Boom Bap alumni thing is it's crazy, bro. Because we all talk every day and we talk behind the scenes about stuff, and it's hard not to be excited for the next steps because we got a lot of pieces in place for the next few moves here.
Yes, we do.
Salute to that. Shout out to my boy Drums Rugged, guest that was on Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. He said, I called this album The Clash of the Titans, and it was a beautiful outcome. Shout out to my man Trey Dot. Trey Dot is joining us on Facebook. Join us on YouTube, everybody. But Trey
Come to YouTube.
Dope concept and discussion. Yep. And shout out to my man Lex. My man Lex says he loves this. Well, guess what? That's what this is all about. Hip hop is evolving, and not only does it evolve, we bring the evolution through concepts of creativity and discussion. So I don't want to go to the album list yet. Let's let them wait for a minute. We gotta let it simmer. We gotta slow cook.
Okay.
MCs, who's Sydney and who's Billy?
Well,
Oh, and shout out to y'all hats, by the way.
Exactly. You know exactly who I am already, though. So hey.
But it's funny. I asked that question because y'all switch personalities and characters on different songs.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So how do you define Trav? I want you to answer this, and I want Len to answer this the best ways y'all can. How do you define Sydney, and how do you define Billy?
I guess honestly, I just looked at similar people from different worlds, and I think honestly, it just took them kind of breaking down certain barriers to find out. It's like, yo, even though their lifestyles might have been a little bit different, but they were very similar. I think they found out it's like, yo, they made a friendship out of it, essentially. It's kind of how it is, even though totally different backgrounds, but very similar interests, whether it goes basketball to Jimi Hendrix, you know what I mean?
And Rosie Perez.
Yeah, Rosie. Yeah, Sydney was probably looking.
I mean, for me, I had to, when we came up with a concept, I had to go and watch the movie over again. And one thing I've understood now with that movie was that I think Trav is right. I mean, it's two of the same personalities for the same goal, but different cultural backgrounds and different processes to the same goal, And what I saw with our personalities with this album was that it's kind of like the same thing. It paralleled the same thing because Trav has his own journey. I have my own journey, but we were able to somehow meet in the middle and still get to that common goal, like how Sid and Bill were able to win that championship at the end and $5,000. So that's how I look at it. I look at this album really exposed two things for me. It exposed that there was chemistry, and it also exposed that we also had the same outlook on different titles of this album. We had the same outlook. We understood the assignment, and lyrically we were able to match each other. That's what made me most proud about this record, was the fact that when I listened to Travis's bars and my bars, we were right there. We just knew it. We just knew exactly. When Travis sent me his verse, I knew exactly how to put that on. And then when I sent my verse to Travis, he knew exactly how to align himself with it. So that's how I see the similarity of this and the movie.
Easy answers. Nobody's taking the hard way out. We're gonna ramp this up because Sydney and Billy didn't like each other at first, and Sydney actually set Billy up. So what was the setup, Sydney? How did you set Billy up on his album?
Well, the thing, if you really think about it, though, that was to me was like a testing period, bro. I don't think they didn't like each other. I think what it was is just being competitive. Because I played sports all my life, and I've went against people on the same field who, if you look on the field, it looked like we hate each other. But at the end of the game, we were cool.
And also, we had the homies with us. Exactly. Like, yo, you're not rocking with Obi over here, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it was more pressure. It was more competitive, though. It was more of a competitive nature. That's what it was. It was competitive. I think Travis and I, we understood the assignment, that it's competitive, but at the same time, we understood what the goal was. It's no different, Karev. It's just that what you're trying to get at, you're trying to say that we had some type of dissension in the beginning because the movie had some type of dissension, but that wasn't it at all. It was just two people that just clicked.
I can tell you what the dissension was.
Around, though. No.
What was the dissension? Trav, tell me what was the dissension, Trav.
I'll tell you what the dissension was.
The dissension was,
yo, Len and Travis both was like, I'm not gonna let this dude outshine me on no verse. That's not happening. You know what I'm saying? That is not happening.
I mean, any time there's, because we approach this record, me and Len, like you said, both on different journeys, just like Billy and Sid. So it was like we both already doing our thing. So it's like we're going together to do the 2-on-2 tournament. No one wants to look like, okay, he was shining, this guy's dragging leg, you know what I mean? So we both came correct, but what was dope about it is, Like it wasn't work. Like he said, like if I came with a verse and a hook, Len would come back with his verse and put some ad-libs in the hook, and I'd be like, word, and vice versa. We kind of already knew certain pockets we could fill for the other person. And you know what I mean? You know, that also, you know, just kind of like, you know, same with that 2-on-2 type of style play. You know what I mean? Pick and roll, whatever. You know, you got to know how to move with your teammate. You know,
correct. And you have to remember too, right? The way how I look at it too. I look at Travis when I work with someone. I look at their body of work, and when I researched Travis the first time I met him, and I look at all his music and what he put out, dude has some of the most stellar work ever. Right. And it's dope. So for me, in my mind, me studying my if you want to put it, my opponent or my counterpart or my teammate, I had to know what was demanded of me when it comes to this album. I had to know that, Karev, because if I didn't do that, I would look kind of like weak on some of these records. And Travis is he's no slow poke on bars, bro. Like dude could write. Dude has nice little similes and metaphors and double entendre. So I had to come nice with it. There was one record on this album. If you listen to the track called Like That, when you listen to Travis's first verse, and then when I got that verse and I listened to his verse, I was like, oh shit. So I had to come with that same theme and come with that same energy and that same type of lyricism. Yeah. So yeah, it was competitive. Trust me, Karev, it was competitive.
Yeah, that was the first record, I think, too.
Yes, it was competitive as hell.
Yeah. Cold Outside was the one where I heard Trav's verse when he said that if it's you versus what'd you say?
If it's you versus me, if it's two versus me, that means you two are bugging. Yeah. Like those things make you realize like, yo, this dude is writing, bro.
It was some slick shit, yeah.
Yeah.
I got some slick. I got some in there. I had it in there. You know what I mean? But yeah,
I had to really step my pen up because I was like, yo, that's on that record when I said when I had to come run for your life. The team is strong, nigga. Most of y'all could lose your wives. Like I had to really come with that shit. So yeah, it was competitive. It was for real. It was for real. Trust me, Karev, it was for real.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna start getting into the album. The intro of the album had a scene from the movie, but can you see this?
I gotta feed the whole fam, so I guess L3, the best LP, I'll take it till my clip wealthy. So I go and hit the block, I put my blunt to the sky. Hit Lynn on the jack, I on front, I get mine. We discussing how it is, how we live through this whack shit. Combine minds up with this rap shit, it's active.
As y'all can hear, off the record is dope, by the way. But as y'all can hear, Trav has the type of voice that brings the ear in. And then he has bars on top of that.
Yep.
But then I want y'all to pay attention to this part.
Getting on these stages and acting like bad boys with life. With one step, you get that reset. Bodybuilder, peep the quick flex. You got that shit tucked in, man, we show it out. Spark niggas, it's a cold drought.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Len Dor. And as you hear, Len Dor has a slow flow that's very articulate, and the delivery is very last syllable and last word heavy because it's graphical, not just spoken. Kawon, how did you marry that so that the production matches that one part? Because that video is layered with a lot of bar work and visual work. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, man.
And we play videos.
Yeah, I see that. I see you stepping it up. I just from working with the fellas, previously and during those times, I kind of know what their pockets are a little bit on certain joints. Like I said, Len Dor, he has his lane and Trav has his lane, but they can get aggressive if need be because we got some joints where we sped it up a little bit. So my thing knowing with them is I like to have the texture joint. I like to have a little texture in my beats and stuff like that, but I gotta leave a pocket for them because when I know when I'm making beats and I can hear their voices on it, I know how to set it up for all of that. But yeah, man, you make it just fast enough, but you make it just slow enough to where you know they're gonna say some crazy shit. Because I you know, Trav gonna say some, like I say, he's gonna say some slick shit, and Len gonna come in and hit you with the gut punch, like you said. But he's gonna drag it at that last syllable to really put an emphasis on it. So those are the things I picked up just over the time working with them. Of the certain type of beats I can send them that I know that they'll kind of knock it out the ballpark. So it's just me studying them, man. Like I said, I was fans of their music before we started working together, so I already kind of had a mental catalog of timing with them and how to do beats for them. So it's just me studying them and hoping that they when I send that beat off, they're like, "Yo, this is it." You know what I mean? So still fortunate enough they haven't sent too many back for me, so I'm still feeling good about that.
But y'all think y'all slick. Y'all ain't getting nothing past me. Because if you think about it, in the video, Len Dor is on the left of the screen facing the right, and Trav's on the right of the screen facing left.
Yeah.
When Trav looks at the camera, he's on par, but when Len looks at the camera, he's looking down at the viewer. Tell me about positioning and why that mattered for the song in the video.
That's Len right there. He's our vision.
Well, honestly though, Trav filmed himself, and I think Trav tried to identify his mood within the angling. For me, I can only speak for me. The reason why I filmed in those different perspectives was because in my verse has a bit of an authority type of aspect to it. It's like I'm talking down to these MCs and letting them know that, yo, you ain't shit. So that's why I'm also me being 6'8" and 330, 330, 325, when I'm for me, that's how I look at myself when I'm speaking at other MCs. So when I'm imparting those bars, run for your life, the team is strong, nigga, most of y'all could lose your wives, most of y'all just should lose that hype. Like a lot of y'all are just overrated. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't really saying anything. Getting on these stages and acting like bad boy for life, you know what I mean? Like with Martin and Will Smith, how they will have that thing thinking they'll their own mantra to puff themselves up. So I'm just saying this record, you know what I mean? Like a lot of y'all are just overrated. Y'all ain't really shit. A lot of you MCs are just kind of like, a lot of y'all don't really bring much to the table. And a lot of y'all are not really that creative. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people look at what I do as one-dimensional, but if they really peel back the layers of what I do, I add so much more tapestry to what I do. And I think Travis does the same thing as well too. You see, I think a lot of MCs now believe that if you're super wavy or you're super complex, somehow it makes you much more superior, when the truth is you could be all those things and don't say shit. Right. And I've listened to a ton of records like that through my life, where I've sitting down listening to dude say the most, it sounds wavy, it sounds super lyrical, gymnastic, elastic, phalastic, and all that shit. And then when you peel back the layers, you get to realize this motherfucker ain't saying shit though. So for me, I believe in cultivating my style, and I believe in Travis's style, because we are so similar in tempo, but yet we're different in complexity in writing. That's what made the unity of it. That's what made it sound so dope, because we have people on a sonic level where they could actually absorb what we're saying. At the same time, we're writing dope shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we figured that like 88 to like 96 probably throughout this album. Maybe a 98 we got, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, Len summed it up. I mean, even on my side of the cam work is Len's seasoned with the camera. You know what I'm saying? So his ideas and thought process of filming is great. And what's good about this collaboration is you'll see as the videos evolve. I think even my shooting has evolved, I guess, to some degree, or with my help or whatever. And honestly, I shouldn't say my help, with Len's help, because honestly, just building with him, he's helped on the visual side of things and whatnot. So and that video was just kind of it was cold outside. Find a spot that's fucking cold, and I'm gonna shoot that shit. You know what I mean? But when I talk to Len and you hear those philosophies behind how he shoots, you take a step back and you get to thinking about, okay, the next one, how am I going to visualize this or whatnot? Type shit.
Yeah, and shout out to Len, man. Len, like I said, Len, I joke about it, but I'm serious when I say it. Len is literally like the art director of the crew, man. He's very instrumental in a lot of visuals that come out to camp because he'll, like Trav says, he'll spend time with you to show you settings on your camera to use or how to shoot certain angles and how to capture certain things. So when we send things for him to edit, it's easy. We make it as easy for him as possible. Just like when you record the music, you want to send everything to your engineer, so make it as easy for him as possible to mix and master those records, man. So Len is very instrumental on the optics for this project, man. From the album cover artwork to the videos that we got and the videos coming out. And we got a special joint that we're working on for a video that's gonna be dope. So this is gonna be a very dope visual experience for the people on this album, man.
Correct.
Yeah, but I'm gonna ask y'all about positions on the camera. Not many, ladies and gentlemen. That's why Heritage Hip Hop is where you need to be to talk about the project. So he's laughing, he's commentating the facts. I mean, I don't know. Hey, you know what I mean?
But we answered it though. We answered it.
Yeah, but I added the extra sauce. I gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do that. But I also have to do this, ladies and gentlemen. So shout out to the roll-up tray and Bumpy Knuckles.
Get up there. Give me some. You know I get some. Oh. It is hard goddamn work making something this pretty look like a chump.
Big shouts to the fam and check the vibes, yo. I'm still laid back in my truck as we ride slow. People's outside like what's up when the tape out. These trash ass rappers on the court getting faked out. Remain unnoticed till I'm focused to shine. Define thoughts, feeling hopeless through these moments in time.
Now, break that bar down. Cause that's my bar. Break that bar down.
Well, simple, you know, you can have the divine thoughts, but as time progresses, if you're not making those thoughts, turning them into action, feeling hopeless through the moments of time, as time slipping away, those divine thoughts are great, but if you're not doing anything with those thoughts, you know, feel hopeless in these moments of time, they slipping out.
You remind me of Method Man sometimes.
And I'll take it all day.
Because there's a song, one of my favorite Method Man songs is called I think it's called Retro Godfather. Right? That's on the T to Cow 2 album. And Meth be saying some stuff, but people are so busy doing something else that they not listening. And then when they finally get it, it's like a chop to the throat. It's like, oh,
Right.
And that's one of them bars in there that made me go, yo, what? We're gonna focus on that some more. Y'all have a very interesting delivery, and I want to ask you, Trav, one thing about this. You pay a lot of homage to hip hop, and when you rhyme, not only are you spatial, where you're putting together where you want the rhyme to fall, you're also putting together the canvas or how you want the rhyme to be interpreted. Tell me about that.
Well, yeah, one thing, you know what I mean? You got to find as an MC, I think you got to develop your own sound. So obviously your voice is your instrument. And then from there, you got to find, you know, what pockets you want to flip and play in. And I appreciate, you know, I think there's levels to lyricism. So I look at myself as a dope lyricist, don't get me wrong, but then I see there's these super lyrical cats on other levels. So throughout my time being an MC, you know, doing this, you know, finding your pockets and where you need to place your words and how your flow is going to be, I think that's the most important. Because once you get the head kind of going like this, they feeling the beat and your rhymes is flowing with it. If they listen back, you know, it's that second, that third listen, that fourth listen where you're like, yo, and then it's like, okay, you know what I mean? So usually I think the first listen, most people want to hear that like first 2 bars where it like punches them in the face. But over time, you know, after a few listens, you know, you ingest kind of how it goes. So it's like, you know, it's not, you know, it sticks with you. So you just got to find your right pockets and make sure you're saying something meaningful.
All right. Make it meaningful. Hey Len, are y'all in the same house? Because it look like y'all sharing rooms. What's up? Shout out to Drums Rugged because he picked up one of It was like in the same house. Yeah, you know, shout out. Thank you, drums. What's up, Len? Talk to me.
And what do you want me to answer, sir? What is the question?
Because you're the visual guy. So is it supposed to be y'all in the same house? Like, is that what it is?
Well, yeah, because when Trav filmed this part, he was just starting to learn the phone, and he started understanding the lighting. So his lighting in his room and my room was similar. So that's what I played on. And then what I did when I filmed in my space, I just filled in different positions to make it look as if like we're in the same space. But I really wanted to put more focal highlight on Travis's part because, as you said, he's a disciple of hip hop. If you look at all the memorabilia that he has, all the CDs, the records, the vinyls, all these things, he really stands on business when it comes to hip hop. So it kind of just came together, man, and it turned out to be as if like we're in the same space.
But Bumpy Knuckles, shout out to the OG Bumpy Knuckles. I see that. Bumpy Knuckles fits his part because authority in hip hop. When I listen to your bars, you see that? You got Malcolm X behind you.
Yes, sir.
So that's authority in direction. Am I correct with you placing that picture behind you purposely at pardon me everybody, this part right here?
I'm like that. Most of cats are phony like Kardashian lips. Drop one EP, now you switched. The catalog is long as my dick. Been cooking like Larry in 86.
Yeah.
That's streets. That's the vision of Malcolm X, but it's also the direction, the direct authority that shows Martin Luther King in that picture as well.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the backgrounds. Tell me if I'm on the right track.
Yeah, you are. You are. Oh, you are, because it's the actual calligraphy of the picture is over my workspace, and I think with this song like that, we just basically showed that. We showed that, you know, figuratively and lyrically, we showed that, yo, we think we're superior. We think we cook it. You know what I mean? And I think I have to give Travis respect for this record though, because Travis came up with this idea. It wasn't me. It was all Travis. And when Travis came up with the verse and the hook, it just felt natural. And that's how I felt on this record. And that's what kind of helped dictate what my verse was about. And yes, me filming the way I filmed was heavily influenced on the authoritative factor of that record. You're right. You're absolutely right.
God damn, it's good to be this great. The brothers on here. Shout out to Notes 82, brother in the building.
Shout out Notes.
Notes.
Yeah.
So that right there, for ladies and gentlemen, for those who are watching, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, share, comment, because you could be a part of the show. One of the most important parts of the album is the visuals and the singles, and that's what y'all got here. But now let's talk into the crux of the album, which is the deep meanings, the representation of the artist. And track 1 and 2, or 2 and 3 respectively if you count the intro. Let's go to Okay. That's Trav's solo song. And I take that as a Who I Am song. Like, that's you really stepping into the forefront to not only show off, but to go off. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, that joint came out dope, honestly. And I was just originally when I wrote the record, I was just getting busy on it. Obviously, when I in the hook where I'm like, put the bench in the game, okay. My clique, the bench one was clique out of Florida type of shit. So it was just I think I originally it was a record that me and Kawon had just made, and actually Len was like, yo, I think he picked it out of a couple joints he heard, and he was like, this would be dope on the project. I think that's how it really ended up on the project. But originally the joint, it was just something I'm getting busy on. And we each wanted to have a kind of a single joint. And I think since which was dope, is since this record I took was me just getting busy on it, Len kind of took the other side and gave something for the ladies, type of shit. So just to even out even on the solo side of both. But yeah, 100, it was just me, talking my shit.
Yeah, Len.
Slow down there, sir. Wait, slow down. Don't leave the other records. We got a whole show.
Yeah, Len did snatch that one, because that joint was originally for What a Time to Be Alive. It was gonna be on that album. And then when Len heard it, he was like, yo, this got to be on Chain Reaction. So I was like, yo, me and Trav already got a lot of joints in the cut. So that makes sense, And from for me, for album sequencing and production side, I purposely wanted the fellas to have a solo joint on the project. They don't have to always be, all them two on the records, because I wanted them to have their own little solo cut to still showcase who they are as dope MCs on the solo side. So we purposely sequence it that way to where you get and we'll get into the sequencing, as we do on, but that was definitely purposely done to do the way we did on that.
One thing I like about Okay is a lot of people get lost in what you say and don't realize who's actually saying it.
Mm-hmm.
So that really was a highlight to me, because you gotta have a chance to understand the person that's rhyming and not just hear just the bars. So what is the one thing you want them to remember of you after hearing that song, Okay, Trav?
I mean, really, the one thing to remember, I would say that I'm a real MC.
I've said.
Okay.
Okay.
The voice, the rhymes, delivery. What's up?
Yeah, I mean, 100. That's the package of an MC, though. You know what I mean?
And the beard.
Yeah,
the trademark beard. Yeah,
the beard.
There's not many MCs without facial hair. You know what I mean? So everyone's got something. You gotta watch out.
No. This is about you, not about people without facial hair and the beard.
It's part of my power, yo.
That's your marketing tool. That beard.
The beard.
Shit, yo. I mean, shout out to the beard, yo.
Word up.
Track number 4. The next track, Strip Club Saga. This is my favorite song on the project. I like story rhymes. And this one had energy. This one had clear-cut, story-driven things. And when we talk about White Men Can't Jump, right? White Men Can't Jump not only is about who you stand with, it's who you stand opposed to as well. Because in the game of basketball, the goal is to win. And in the game of life, the goal is to live and survive. And this points out a certain thing most young men go through. Mm-hmm. But if you look at it, and the hip hop state is what every MC goes through, because you can always find yourself in a place where you're tested, whether it's lyrically or socially. I want y'all to talk about Strip Club Saga real quick.
Well, Strip Club Saga, I think I came up with that idea because for me, I always believe situational story type records bring out the best metaphoric aspects of an MC, where you could paint a good picture. So for me, when I came up with that record, I think I came up with the hook and I sent it to Trav, and it was a way to show our camaraderie in a scenario, how we have each other's back. That's how I kind of like painted it. So, it came together pretty well. I mean, I think I recorded first and did the verse first and the hook, and I sent it to Trav, and Trav was like, okay, I'm down with it. And it turned out to be a dope record. It turned out to be a fire record. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and just to add on, Len's 100% right. That was his joint. He came up with the concept of it, and how I followed. I if you think about his verse, my verse is really the same story from my perspective of how it gets in the club and how it gets into something. So it's really, you know what I mean? That's how I wanted to approach it. I thought it was a dope idea when Len had it. I had another verse originally, and then I was like, no. And I scrapped that one, and I was like, let me just relay one so I could just do one. So my perspective, I just think it would fit better, because I think, like I said, Len came through and laid it out, and I was like, this is butter. So, it came out real dope and a hard beat. So that was definitely a dope package.
Yeah, it's literally like both of them are watching each other six, telling the same story. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I felt. I felt like he was the same story going, but just from different angles. On Travis handling everything on the right hand side, and Lynn's handling everything on the left hand side. So it's one of my favorites. And it's actually, that record is not on the streams because some bullshit with the streamers. They said I was sampling a Dr. Dre record, which is totally off base. And I was pissed. I sent Trav the paperwork for the clearance and all that shit, and they still kicked it out. So if you get the physicals, that record is just on the physical release and the Bandcamp releases.
Screw streaming, bro. Forget streaming, bro. I hate
definitely got those physicals now. Yeah, we got another surprising deck for that joint. You know.
Oh yeah, we got a real dope one for this joint. Like,
for real.
Visually, you're gonna love this one, bro. It's gonna be dope.
So I want to ask y'all a theoretical question. Boxers are defined by the ring. Wrestlers are defined by the ring. Basketball players are defined by the court. Since the year 2000, the club has been the defining moment of hip hop.
Right.
Changed. As an artist contemporary now, what does the club mean to you? And is the club necessary for an MC to own their craft?
Man, I can answer this real quick for me because it's funny because I was out Saturday night. We're hanging out for a birthday celebration. Shout out to my sis Roby. Me and my brother Lefty, K-Trey was out there. And I was an hour and a half in. And I was like, I gotta go. This, you know what I'm saying? This ain't for me, bro. I can't do this. You know what I mean? Like I think for our age group and trying to own your craft music wise, I don't think in the club environment. I think we're more of a small venue, you know what I'm saying? A crafted, curated type of room now. I don't think we need to be in Magic City trying to break a record, you know what I'm saying? For our age group, because it doesn't make sense to me. But I'll let the fellas talk about that.
I don't know, man. For me, I still curate my albums like the early 90s, right? In the early 90s, you get a female track, you get a club track, you get a street track. That's how I still. So for me, I think some of our music could hang in the club. I mean, especially our singles and stuff like it hang in the club. But I think now the climate of how music is consumed has changed the perspective of a lot of people. So it may not hit the same.
Yeah, I mean, from my side, even if I agree with both, but from my side, club nowadays, it's different for me. Like, well, I'll say this: like, if you're when you were making our type of music, when you were making it in '96 to '98, it could slide in the club.
Absolutely.
But as times change, the club music is not the same music. I mean, we make underground hip hop. You know what I mean? You would call it that, but you call it mainstream hip hop. We make hip hop, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But however you want to pocket that, but we rock. I rock shows all day, and people rock, getting out their head and all, do their thing. But we make, it's probably not for nowadays club, depending on what type of club is played in.
Yeah. Trav is outside, bro. Don't be confused now, Trav.
All the way out.
He's outside rocking shows, so you know what I'm saying. He knows what he's talking about on that piece.
There's definitely there's dope scenes. There's definitely some dope scenes, Joe. And I was lucky, to be a part of one for a very long time. So that was dope. Yeah, it's dope.
Right. Salute. Let's go to the next song. The Vibe, Len Dor's solo record. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna just tell you now. Rosie Perez sets off this song. And not only that, but the intro leads to an interesting concept with the song, because the song is about pleasing your woman and being, affectionate.
Absolutely.
But the beginning of the song was the struggle of the meeting of our minds to be connected. Please talk about how you went from the fight to the pleasure.
Well, I mean, it's just basically trying to be a little bit, adding a bit of a shock theory to it, a shock person to it, if I may say that, if I'm saying it correctly. I mean, if you listen to what Rosie Perez is saying, she's trying to get him to find out, trying to get him to be on the same or more than, how should I put, affection for her, right? Like, she's trying to find out the gauge of how much he loves her. And she's also trying to coax him into being that and more. If you listen to what she's saying, she's trying to teach him how to say it and how to even see it, which I found was really kind of interesting. But my song is just basically me seeing a female for what she is in the club, and just capturing her essence in that aspect, you know, like a bystander just looking at her, observing her. I mean, I'm just trying to feed off of her energy and everything. That's kind of like what my song is about. You know what I mean? I'm trying to encapsulate that moment, you know, of really observing this beautiful woman and just absorbing what she is in that moment.
But the moments of love is more than passion. And that's why I think the song has its strong points, because like I said in the beginning, I love you times infinity, but there's something bigger than infinity. It's like, even when you say the obvious, somebody always has to say something so goddamn annoying that you have to prove to them that that's the thing. And you know what's funny? I have this conversation all the time with women, because women were taught that we are the opposite sex, and that's untrue, ladies and gentlemen. Because when you oppose, you fight. When you compliment, you work together. And that's for me. And for a man wants loyalty. For a woman, she wants presence. Yep. She wants that attention. Like your world, she's in your world. Because if you share your resources, your mind more than your money, stupid. But your mind is the resource she wants the most, because if she's always present, that means your world reflects off of her. Yep. So love and attention, and then love and loyalty. Yeah. She wanted the attention and the loyalty, and then you gave the woman in the song the mental stimulation and the physical pleasure as well. Mm-hmm. What is the one thing of love you think hip hop misses that the songs need to really talk about more, so that we can compliment?
Passion.
Talk about passion.
It. There's no passion in a lot of the hip hop records now. There's no, especially in the love records. Back in the day when I grew up, even when 50 Cent came on the scene, when he did that record with Joe, you heard passion in those songs. You heard a guy that was actually in love with a woman and articulated that really, really, really well. Even if you want to go even further back, Tribe Called Quest, bro, you name it, there are plethora. Far Side, there are plethora of female records that MCs back then, when they wrote, you heard the passion in their music. You know, I think that's one of the things that is being missed. One friend of mine told me, and I won't say his name, but when he realized that I had a passion for writing like female records or records that express love or whatever it is, he would tell me, yo, niggas don't want to hear that shit. And I had to let him know. So, bro, I'm not writing for the niggas though. Women listen to hip hop too. You know what I mean? So I believe that's what's missing though, that passion, that way to really express themselves, to be open and vulnerable in that type of way.
All right, let's keep it moving, because I think passion has been lost because the R&B aspect of black music is gone. Like now we got people who think they can sing and auto-tuning the hell out of songs. That's bullshit, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. Yeah. I said it. You mad? Come to my show. But I just had a conversation with Phaedra and Lazy Bone. Shout out to the Fleet DJs. And I talked about how with the downfall of mainstream R&B, we miss passion, sensuality, and the lack of confusion of how to let somebody help you give the world your emotions.
Correct.
We've got to a point where everybody does the same damn thing, and not only is it ass, it's a false representation of love, you know. And for people who grew up not having love, they're not learning love and passion through expression. Correct. They're only learning how to fulfill their desires through touch, and that's insane. Trav, let me ask you a question. When you heard this song, right, being that you weren't on it, but when you heard this song, right, how did this song elevate you so that when you heard it, the creative bug like came alive? Not that you had to match the song, but it fueled you to create even more songs.
Well, this was one of the last joints I think that slid in there. So Len was keeping it tucked, you know. I think after he left the strip club, you know, he fell in love. You know, I'm just playing. But he kind of had this one on the side. So honestly, this was one of the last ones that slid on. But what I did think is I thought it was dope that he approached it from that angle, and it fit in. You know what I mean? I was like, you know, especially when he added the sample from, you know, that was his idea. He slid that one in there, and I was like, yo, it just fit. It was a nice piece to add to the album, and you know, a joint for the ladies, like he said, and yeah, he did his thing on it. So I dig it. You know, I'm glad it was a part of the record. But yeah, he slid it on at the end. He had it tucked.
Well, to be honest with you, though, Kawon gave me that beat. I think we did when we had. I think that was part of the beat package for the record we did before. With, we won't mention his name, but that was part of that beat record, and I kept that beat because I remember when Kawon and I was speaking about it, I was like, bro, this shit sounds dope, because the sample he used was like in a forest. And when the first time I heard that beat, the first thing came to my mind was a real sensual, laid back, stimulated type of vibe. And the whole concept of meeting a woman in the club or meeting a woman somewhere and really peeling back the layers of the approach and the direction of where the interest went to with her, I think it fit that concept. And yeah, I use a little bit of iTunes, what you call it again?
The auto-tune. Got
the auto-tune. I didn't kill it. I didn't kill it. But I liked it because it gave it that commercial touch. For me, it gave it that commercial touch.
I think it added a layer to the hook, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it did.
It wasn't overused.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be T-Pain, but I'm not trying to be T-Pain, but at the same time, it just, you know, it added a little bit of a commercial touch to it. So yeah,
you know, and to Len's credit, when we were sending it off to get mastered, he did, you know, it wasn't originally recorded that way, and he was like, "Yo, I want to do this with auto-tune," and me and the engineer was like, "You sure?" You know what I'm saying? I don't know, bro. We hip hop, you know what I'm saying? But
I wanted to. It worked out. It worked out. By the way, that record has a video too coming to it. It's dope. So yeah,
it's a dope visual for that. Yeah, but I love that beat too, man, because I purposely, like you said, it has that jungle love vibe to it with the drums. You know what I'm saying? And I even, you know, play with your ears a little bit with the staticky sounds to kind of catch your attention. Like, what was that? You know what I mean? So I wanted to kind of use that beat to kind of mess around with your senses a little bit. And then, like I said, maybe Len picked up on it, and that's when he wrote that tight record to it, man. So it was definitely one of the fun beats. One of my favorite beats I made.
I love it.
Time. Yeah.
I love the hell out of that record.
I'm gonna move on. Shout out to the chat. Drums Rugged says, what I like about Len is his bars are layered and comical at times, and that's dope. Those 82 has the pin and fire. Big said, don't mention his name, please, as well. Trav bars are well thought out of and real cerebral. Some king or court jesters, and they're still laughing. And I'm gonna leave that alone, ladies and gentlemen. So here's a song that I really like. Time Keeps Ticking.
Oh yeah.
That's the joint.
Len, talk about it, Len. What's up?
That's the joint.
Again, I'll say it again. All credit goes to Travis.
All right, Trav, pick it up. What's up?
Yeah, all credit goes to Travis, man.
Shout out to the beard. Let's go, Brawley. What you got, yo?
Captain Caveman over there.
You know, I mean, honestly, you know, as we grow older as MCs, time's always a concept that I add in my verses and whatnot, because it affects everyone, I think, in different ways, whether it's a good memory or bad memory. So when Kawon had sent the beat, you know, that horn in it kind of just gave me like a reminisce type vibe.
Yep.
And he had a little gap in there that I added like a little tick originally.
Yep.
And it just kind of set the vibe as that, and then almost sounded like as my verse, it kind of came almost like some almost like a disgruntled MC kind of as you're aging, like you're mad at certain shit, and that's kind of what it was to a degree. As the time keeps ticking, and you know, just still getting busy, but also letting them know, you know, as you know, the fake shit you see out there type of whatnots, you know. But that's kind of, just how I laid it out. And you know, Len came through, filled in a piece of the hook, and you know, I think kind of followed this very similar vibe.
I love that record because he was able to really strike a certain person. At that point in time when I got that record, I was going through a really tough time. And I think I was going through a situation where I think I failed one of my exams, and I was really kind of like in a real bad place per se. But what I love about that record, it basically got me to dig deep about my morals. You know, I mean, what I stand for, and I was able to talk about, you know, the Bible, where God's penmanship, what I really take very seriously in my life. And the beat, the tapestry that Kawon gave us was immaculate because it had those lazy pockets where we were able to be wavy in it. We were able to play around with certain techniques and deliveries and stuff like that. It's to me, that record could be in the top 3 for me of what I love about that album.
I agree. You know, one thing about time is we take time for granted. Like,
yeah, we do.
When you're a child, everything's in front of you. So you could be whatever. And then as a teenager, you want to own your time because life is about you. And then in your 20s to your 30s, you start to recognize that there's a purpose to your time.
Yep.
30s to 40s, you start realizing place in time.
Mm-hmm.
From your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, you start seeing time dwindle because the people you share time with are no longer there to share it with you. And one of the most poignant parts of the song that I heard was, pardon me if I say this wrong, how do we win if time never finishes? Which means your time, your concept of time is a construct inside of a construct, which means it's a theory. It's not really a fact, it's an experience. Time is the most beautiful thing about hip hop because as we separate ourselves through eras, our story never really changes in its beautiful perspectives that make the rhymes come to life. What is the most meaningful part of time to you as a producer? Because you have to time the bars. You have to time, I mean, the MCs time the bars, but you time the cadences because you got the 4-bar intro, then the 16s, and then the hooks. Like, it's all math.
Yeah.
How does this time? How does this time sit with you as a producer? MCs, how does time sit with you as the wordsmiths that make the songs themselves?
Yeah, for me, man, when it comes to making records now, and like you said with the timing, it used to be, you know, oh, I want these records to be 3 minutes and 25 seconds because, you know, that's the industry standard, or, you know, I want this to do this. Now for me, I measure it time-wise, like how do I feel when I listen to it, right? Is there a beginning, is there a middle, is there an end, and do I feel satisfied at the end of it? So that's how I create now. You know what I'm saying? When I sequence everything out and I lay the track out, do I feel good at the beginning of it? Do I feel good at the middle of it? And do I feel great at the end of it? If I get that feeling, I'm done. You know what I mean? Because like you said, time is, you don't get that back, bro. So it doesn't make sense to keep trying to add to something that doesn't need to be added to. And this record is actually a great example of it because like Trav mentioned on that part where it's that gap during the verse and the hooks and all that stuff, that was me like trying to figure out what else can I add to it. And that's when I had to step back and was like, it's perfect. You know what I mean? Those sometimes in life, you know, you don't get to wake up that next morning, or you don't get to go to bed that night. So you kind of stop where you stop. So that's how I kind of left that little gap there. It's kind of like the gasping of air, you know what I'm saying? And they kind of, I ain't gonna say they picked up on it, but they definitely turned that record and made it a little bit more special for what I was doing with it, just because I was like, I got nothing else to give to this beat. So, you know, let's see what we can do with it. And they definitely executed on that empty pocket there.
Try, pick it up.
Yeah, just to add on to Kawon's beat, I think a lot of times, sometimes, you know, even though there's complex, you know, that beat is not simplistic, but even the simplistic styles of beats leave those open pockets for MCs, and that's sometimes some of the most they gravitate towards too. Even sometimes your favorite records, you take the MC off and you hear the instrumental, and it sounds a little bit different to you. But when so it's kind of how it goes together. And it's, to me, it's like, time on a record, especially, the hip hop we make, is I don't care if the joints, it could be, a minute and a half, it could be 7 minutes long, depending on how the vibe of the record. But just like Kawon is how the vibe feels of the record. Do you feel satisfied by the end of listening to it? You know what I mean? And it's just how the vibe feels and how it takes you. I mean, a lot of these joints is us doing, 16s and 16s and 8s, 16 bar verses, 8 bar hooks, which is a lot standard now, but I feel no need to be held by any time constraint when doing records. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're not, like at college radio is what we're dealing with, but mainstream radio I don't turn that shit on. So I care less.
Man, pick up.
I do agree what Travis says, though. I mean, it's one of those records that it helps you to be free. I mean, if you listen to the beat really and truly gives you that opportunity to just let everything out. I mean, that's what I did with my verse, though. I mean, I understand that life is a clock. You ain't changing that. I mean, you in that verse, I basically tried to come to terms with my mortality and knowing the fact that I don't really have much time, and how do I want to spend my time? Hating myself and hating people around me? No, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? And having a conversation with God and understanding that He knows my limits and my strengths, So it's one of those records that really had me sit down and open my mind up to really and truly, what am I doing with myself? I take this hip hop thing very seriously. You know that, Karev? And I think what we do with our time now at the ages of where we are right now in our life, though, is very imperative. And that's what I tried to stress in that record, what is important to me.
Time is important, brother. Like, I'm very serious about my time. Like, you know what I mean? I'm very serious about my time. Like, if I feel like anybody's wasting an ounce of it, I'm out. You know what I mean? Because I have so much more creativity to give, and I can't waste it with anybody else. You know what I mean?
Talk about it. Look, man, heritage hip hop always goes into the crevices to pull out the gems, y'all. And that's one of my favorite songs on that album as well, because you can rap forever but still have nothing to say, or you can make a song that makes a person sit down and really contemplate life, and that's the mark of an MC. And that takes us to the next song, Sid and Bill, a banger. Listen, y'all, let me tell y'all something. Sid and Bill is one of the ones, yo. He talked about a meth and red type thing. I was thinking more of like a Trip of the Gambler and what's my man name? Smooth the Hustler right here. Because it was this one right here was like, yeah, you can spit, but I'll spit too. You're not outdoing me on this. Fellas, this is an old school song, but it's very current. It's very grammatical and dramatical.
Mm-hmm.
Who won the battle on this one? MCs, go.
I mean, I think again, it's a team. Sid and Bill's a team. You know what I mean? So we came through and we won the tournament.
Yo, Trav, you realize what Karev is doing to us, bro? Like, he's running those fire up on us, bro. Like, that's what he's doing. He's running those little fire up on us right now.
And you stole the money from me. You stole my money.
Yo,
this is how to divide us
based on white man can't jump. My man missing shots. He throwing up bricks. His girl left him. I mean, went on Jeopardy, couldn't answer the question. What's Jeopardous about this question? I mean, want to know who took it?
Honestly, I think we both came correct, 100. As I say, I love both styles. And this was a joint that came off after, we obviously started picking the theme of the joint. And that's kind of how, I approached the hooks. Because we still hustling in the park like Sidney and Billy Hoyle. You know what I mean? That's the team right there.
Well, I mean, the record is one of those type of records, like those FU records. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those records to let you know where we stand. And I think what it really did for Trav and I was to really show our fangs, you know, to show that we got bars, bro, and we could top whatever you want, you know. So it really showed the unity between Sid and Bill in the movie, how they were able to play together and win something. So that's what that record is. It really highlighted more of the Venom chemistry that we could have when we come together. We decide to pile up on you. It's not going to be pretty.
But that song is important. I'm not trying nobody notes. Cut it out. I think it's important because it's natural that when you have a group, some people say, well, which one did you like better? Or who got the best of this song? And it's very interesting where camaraderie can bring out the best, but camaraderie also is competitive.
Yes.
So I just read with Andre 3000. Shout out to Andre 3 Stacks when he raps, though. Not that wood blowing flute shit. But shout out to him when he's rhyming. And he said that if you ever actually had somebody battle, Big Boy's better than me. And he gave his compatriot props. But Big Boy says, look who I'm rhyming against. I had to be nice. So that type of love is why I think Sid and Bill works, because at the end of the day, it's always who got who did what, and who did better. But if you actually look at the song for what it is, it's actually it's not who's better, it's can you stand the challenge of going up against us collectively.
Yes.
And I like that. All right. Slow bugging.
A real quick Heritage Hip Hop exclusive. That's the next video we dropping next week.
Yeah.
Sid and Bill?
Yes, sir.
Who gonna have the goddamn gun?
You gotta watch the video and you'll see. Watch the video.
Shit. There you go. Why y'all laughing? Let's talk about slow bugging. Put me on slow bugging. Kawon, I want you to actually talk about the production on slow bugging, because that was a change in the direction of the album, and it shifted the perspective of it. Why don't you go into slow bugging for me?
So, slow bugging was actually, it was creatively, it was in the same time period as the Requiem. So I was creating beats for both projects, so I knew it was going to work on either or. But honestly, Trav snatched it up before I even got to share it with Len for Requiem. So he was like, yeah, let me go in to get that one. But for creative wise, I was cooking up for Requiem too when I was creating up for this one. So it was just one of them dark joints, one of those, haunting, you know what I mean? And I knew when Trav was like, yo, this is one I can rock on, I felt it. I was like, yeah, this is definitely in pocket with him. So he, he set it up for us, and Len knocked it out the ballpark after that.
Yeah, I mean that the joint, it kind of gave you like a slow head now when I first heard it, and the change up when the beat came, or when the verse part come in, it just fell right in my pocket. I wrote my verse quick on that one too.
He did.
So, and then
keys, I love those keys on there too, them dark keys.
Yeah. I mean that's what gives it a bounce, and that's where you dig for those pockets around Kawon's elements. And each joint, and sometimes it's not even keys. Like sometimes it sounds like like rustling leaves. I don't even know. He has all different types of sounds which he adds to his beats, which is really dope. Which allows you to find your pocket or play with the sound. So,
that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why I mess with Kawon, because he's heavily abstracted with samples. So a lot of samples he chooses, it gives you different vibes and different pockets for you to really get certain things off your chest. I love that record. That's dope.
Yeah, and to go back to Sid and Bill, for those who may or may not have picked up on Sid and Bill, it's so much going on that record sonically. I put the hi-hats on there to bring you back. So if you're listening to Sid and Bill, listen for the hi-hats, and that's always going to bring you back to center. And I did that on purpose because there's so much going on with that record, with the drums and the sample and the girl screaming in the background in the distance and all of that. I use the hi-hats as a way to kind of bring everybody back to center, and you'll hear them if you're listening for them.
Kawon is telling y'all that not only was he one of the last year's Heritage Hip Hop Award producers of the year, I'm trying to tell y'all how y'all budget right and come get some of these beats. Just putting it out there if y'all didn't know what he was saying.
For real.
One of my favorite songs on the album, for real, is Take a Charge. That's the name. Now, take a charge is a basketball term, ladies and gentlemen. When you take a charge, you're accepting force. You're accepting pressure. All right. And when you accept the force, you're also handing out consequences for touching somebody the wrong way. Come on, Len. That sounds like you. So I want Len to talk about that, and we're gonna go to the magic beard. Trav is about to get it. Let's go. Let's go. Get it.
Well, again, the concept was all Travis. Take a charge. I mean, I played basketball when I was growing up, played it competitively for a bit. I mean, when you take a charge, you're making a sacrifice, right? But for me, I painted in the perspective of the opposite person taking the charge, right? Because when you're coming to us, there's a sacrifice you have to make on your end to take one. So when I wrote that verse, it was some real big cojones type of talking going down there. So, you know, it's pretty much telling whoever the opposition is like, yo, be prepared to take some licks because it's not going to be easy. So that's why, you know, when Trav sent that to me, when he did his verse and he sent it to me, it was quick. I think Trav wrote that in a day. Trav wrote that in the day and I had it during the night. And the vibe of it, the way how he said, the way how he placed the hook, take a charge, and the keys in the background and stuff made it sound real menacing. So that's where I got my influence from, and I just went off with it.
Yeah, to add on to Len, obviously, yeah, I mean, Len sent that was one of the beats we picked out, and obviously the vibe or how the bass line is on that joint, it kind of gives you the tough feel and what's taking the basketball theme. And, you know, and Len's 6'8", I'm 6'6", so we ain't no short duo here, you know what I mean? So you know, I use some, you know, obviously some basketball references and whatnot to it in there. But yeah, I mean the beat set it off, and the same thing. Yeah, I kept that gap on after the take a charge, just, you know, and just add a little small vocals here and there, just to as again, Kawon add those effects to just kind of leave it open for that, and let the beat breathe there. But the another joint, as you said with Force, the beat already makes you feel kind of tough. Taking a charge, it's like it still ain't no sucker move. You still got to be
exactly.
You're gonna get hit, but you're gonna win by taking that hit. You know, so it's like, you know, it adds to the beat. You know, toughness, I guess, all across the board.
Try, you get cooked. That's exactly what it means. Try it and you're gonna get cooked.
Yeah,
and that bass is crazy on that one too.
Yep.
That's a trunk rattler right there.
Take a charge. It's dope.
Shout out to the Giants over here on the day. Even 6'6".
Elegantes.
You can imagine seeing Travis and I on the same stage performing these records.
Yeah, like Wu-Tang. Oh, yeah, I got you. Rest in peace to Power, by the way.
Rest in power, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I want to go to the last song on the album before we sum up the show. The last song was Full Court Press. Once again, you had a song before it that was about taking the opposition's tactics, and now you're forcing yours you're forcing your will at the end of the project, which is pretty masterful if you think about it, because you leave people with an impression on the last song, and the last song entitled Full Court Press means I see what you have. Now I'm gonna do everything I can to take it and let you know how powerful I am. Kawon, I need to know about the beat process. Len, I want you to talk about the bar process, and Trav, I wanted you to talk about the importance of the concept.
Yeah. So the beat, man, I have my favorite set of drum pattern that I use. I save these. You'll probably hear these drums on every project I ever put out, and you know, this is my emergency break glass drum patterns I use for this one, and this is that one record where you know, I think this is probably one of the last joints for the project that we did, and the drums, the samples, all that came together. We wanted to keep it dark, but I just wanted it to hit. Like, I wanted those drums to hit a certain way, and I wanted to be one of those records that, okay, if this is gonna be the final track of the project, I want it to be. Now I got to run the album back, because if that's how they ended it, let me go back to how they started off again. Because I know these dudes just ain't give us 10 straight bangers. You know what I mean? And that's always the goal for us. Is like, I don't want to mess around with tracks. I don't want to mess around with interludes and all that kind of stuff. Like, I just want to get people just bangers back to back to back, and just keep hitting them in the head and keeping the foot on their necks. And so, production wise, I wanted to keep it dark but not too dark, but I wanted it to be simple but not too simple. You know what I mean? And I think that Trav, of course, and Len, you know what I'm saying, Len set it off. Len definitely bully footed his way up to his verse and threw the layup to Trav to finish it off. And perfect way to end the game, man. It was the perfect way to end the game on this one.
For me, I just wanted to be very, very animated on it, and the beat gave me that space to be animated, to say some shit I really wanted to say. You know, you just want to, for me with this record, what I loved about it, it was such a moody record that you had so much different emotions in it. So I just felt it was fitting for us to end with a bang. And me writing my bars was just basically trying to, again, to show my fangs, to let you know, listen, you try us, this is what's going to happen. So that's all we wanted to make a statement with that record and end off with a statement.
Yeah, and as for the concept, you know what I mean? I think it's dope how it evolved. It was obviously towards the end of the album how we when this joint made it on, and yeah, Len set it off. I mean, the beat was tough. Len set it off perfect. We didn't have a hook concept, so Len came up with the idea with the sample to fit it in there, which I thought was lovely, and I just finished it off. But as far as the concept, I kind of looked at it as full court press is already, you're giving them hard-nosed defense, you know, obviously off rip. So it's a tough record. You're already giving hard defense. But I also look at it as like, it's the last record. We already up 40. We're winning the tournament. We're still going to press your bitch ass. You know what I mean? Like, it's still like
real.
A tough record. Like, that's what I meant. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Yeah,
we don't believe in the mercy rule, bro. Just keep going.
Nope.
Keep scoring.
All day, every day.
Shout out to them Knicks because they getting mercy right now.
Oh, no, Cleveland up.
About 20, bro. Fourth quarter. But, you know, that's what happens when you cheat and get James Harden. But he don't play defense, so we'll see him in the
No, he don't.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have just reviewed Chain Reaction, album by DJ Kawon, brother producer, Emcee with the magic beard, my brother, Trav. I always bring up the beard because I can't grow my beard like that. That's my man. I ain't getting on him. I'm giving him praise. The Bible talked about the men with the beards. Salute. And shout out to my big brother, Len Dor, who always puts his bicep in every video he's in. Just to let you know how strong he is. And his bars are just as strong. Shout out to my brother. Yo, I thank y'all for letting me do this show with y'all, because at the end of the day, it's one thing to be a fan of the music. It's another thing to find people who love the art as well as the music. And there's one more thing when you can have camaraderie. So for each one of y'all, I thank y'all so much, because I want to know who's missing from the Boom Bap alumni that needs to put a song out.
Well, like Kawon will answer that question because he's the curator of the project. We out of that. Kawon has to answer that question.
So we you'll get a sample at come June, man. We got the actual Boom Bap alumni project dropping. And you know, my brother Notes 82 is up next. You know what I'm saying? He's featured on that. And me and Notes got a dope EP dropping called The Faculty, Karev. I took your advice, brother, because when I first put the bug in you that we was gonna start working together, you said, yo, just challenge him. You know what I'm saying? I need you to challenge him. And I think you're gonna be very impressed on what Notes, the new pocket Notes is in right now. This ain't the Notes that you're used to, bro. I don't know if it's him crossing over here to the dark side on the Boom Bap alumni side or what, but he's Notes is on. He's on one right now, bro. These two brothers are featured on that record together on that project that you're gonna like, I think. And yeah, man, Notes 82 is up next, bro. At the Boom Bap alumni project, which is my producer's album, featuring the crew, featuring some other outside MCs who's not within the crew, but very close friends of mine and associates of mine. That's that I rock with. So you're gonna definitely dig that project, bro. I've been holding back sending it to you because I wanted you to enjoy this Chain Reaction first before I send you that Boom Bap alumni. Got the Bad Seed on there with Len Dor on the track together.
Shout out to Bad Seed.
Bad Seed and Len got a joint together. We got my brother K Trey, Mr. Lefty. Him and Notes got a joint together.
My guy, what up?
I got a classic posse cut, good old fashioned posse cut called The Alumni, featuring Trav, Len, Notes 82, vet Emcee out of Brooklyn named Ed Dav, and Mr. Lefty, aka K Trey. I got a dope camp up in Canada that goes by Code Camp that's featured on there.
Dope. They fire.
Yeah, they go crazy. And Len Dor, one of Len Dor's mentors up there in Canada, blessed the record with Len. So we featuring the family heavy on the project, and like I said, some new voices on the Ace Wonder. My brother out of Philly, Ja Rajim, he's on there.
Mm-hmm.
Who did I miss, man? Who else is on? That's it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and Trey Dot's on there. Trey Dot's on there too. Yeah, so it's
shout out to Trey Dot.
Yeah, it's a dope project, brother. I think you're gonna have to create a new category for the Heritage Hip Hop Awards. Produce an album of the year or something, because it's a cheat code for an album, and I don't want to take away from the artist. So we got to figure something out for that one.
You know what? We'll see what happens. Because are you still missing somebody, man?
Who we missing, bro?
Who am I missing? Who we missing?
Me. Yeah. See,
my bad.
I said I'm picking up the pen again.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, and that's what you call a lie. Because I'm not rhyming.
we gotta get you on. We gotta get your vocals on something though, man. We gotta get you narration or something.
I ain't rhyming on nothing.
I got Karev on something. Something cool.
Yeah, we got some dope joints, man. My brother Len got a project with he's coming out with. He's following up from I Need My Flowers. He got a dope him Pro Logic,
which is a great project. No, please let me say something real fast. When we did the Heritage Hip Hop Awards, that album really made people sit down. Look, congratulations on Needing Your Flowers. Now I need you to have a little something to come behind that, because you opened the door. Now I need the bicep to grab people and pull them through the door, because that's a great project, yo. Anybody who did not listen to it, not only are you corny for not having it, it's a pleasure to introduce you to it right now, because that is a great project. Go ahead and say what you were going to say, but I needed to say that.
Yeah. Shout out Pro Logic, man. Him and Pro back.
Shout out to Pro Logic, yo.
Yeah, Pro. We have a new album coming. A new one. That one is called The Bewilderment of Fulfillment. So that one is a little more darker, and it's much more. How should I put it? It's gonna say things that normally people are not going to say. That's what it's going to say.
Word. And then Len Dor working on a project with my other brother Luck.
Right. There. Yeah, I'm them smackman with Luck. Yeah.
Yeah, them and Luck, Trav and Luck putting something together.
Yeah.
Me, Luck, and my brother Kondu. We're gonna do Luck already, and he already put it out there. We're gonna put together kind of like a super group project. I was talking about H&L Associates. So the H&L Associates, their people and their crew, we're gonna all kind of partner up with them, with our crew, and put together like a. Luck says it, so I'm not saying this. He says he feels like this is like a Native Tongue 2.0, what everybody's got going on. So we're in pre-production on that on beats. Me, him, and Kondu are gonna produce the album. And we're going to curate the verses and the hooks to the MCs, and they're not going to hear the album until the album is done. So they're only going to hear their verses that they're recorded. But me, Luck, and Kondu are going to work behind the scenes to put the album together. So Notes will be on there. Trav, my brother Len. I'm going to get Duck City Music. I'm not familiar with them. I'm going to get them involved on the project. And then Luck's going to reach out on his side. We're trying to get a big feature on there that Luck's working on, so hopefully that falls through. That'll be dope. We already got a commitment from DJ Evil D to do all the DJ cuts on there from Beat Miners. So that's been a dream of mine too. I've been wanting to hear Trav and the DJ Evil D cut, you know what I'm saying, for a minute. So we're gonna work that out.
Shout out to DJ too, man. Mad Good Records. Shout out to
Mad Good Records.
Yeah, I definitely want to bring back to that for Chain Reaction, CDs and cassettes. You know, we got the support of Mad Good Records behind them. You know, for those who want those, those hard copies for those collectors and those who still consume music that way. Big shouts to Mad Good Records behind the team. Yeah.
Shout out to DJ, man. He's opened a lot of doors for us on on the physical side. He's connected us to people who actually still purchase the music, and that's important in these days and times. So shout out to him for that. And it's hard to contain your excitement, man. We got a lot going on, brother, and I'm excited that you're going to see this next wave of music coming through from us.
A shout out to you too, Karev, for like that big thing you connected me with recently, though. I really appreciate you, bro. Like, honestly, though, like, that is some mad love what you did, and I'm never ever going to forget that, bro. I'm always going to be in your corner for that one, bro. I really appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. Real talk.
Well,
yeah, if y'all not rocking with Heritage Hip Hop, y'all some suckers, man. I don't care who it is. If anybody got anything negative to say about Heritage Hip Hop, you just a sucker. You'll never change my mind about that.
Hey, Kawon, that's what my song is about, bro. I am who I am, and I define who I am. If you don't like me, fuck you, because I am. Y'all get the rest of that on the song. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
That's right. Yeah. I'm not trying. I don't try. I can rhyme, bro.
That's what I'm with
you. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
But no, I got some notes been wanting me to rhyme for a minute. And shout out to my man Stress and Chief Bally. They've been wanting me to rhyme. But I am retired. I'm not as good as y'all. I definitely will sit back.
Nonsense.
It's not about me. It's about celebrating the Boom Bap alumni. My brother Kawon, Travisty, the Lazy Emcee, and Len Dor, one of Canada's greats. You know what I'm saying? And ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for joining us on the new look, this new Off the Record. Before we go, I want to say salute and shout out to my brother Seek of the Hello Effect podcast. Make sure you subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop, the Mixtape Show by DJ Kawon, and the Hello Effect podcast. We are the Mic Council. We are the people that talk about hip hop, culturally driven with no skips. So make sure you check us out there. Also, as you subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop, I want to show you guys a little something. Do you see this QR code right there? Scan that, and that takes you to heritagehiphop.com. While the website is getting touched up like this, I would like for you to check out the website and know what's going on in Heritage Hip Hop. If you would like to help Heritage Hip Hop, we have $ Heritage Hip Hop Cash App for donations. If you want to interview, be Cash App ready, and then come talk to me. This QR code is my T Public store. Get some teas, get some merch, get some socks, get a pillow, get a cup. Hey, whatever you want to do. Support Heritage Hip Hop, because everything you put into this doesn't go only to my pocket. It goes to curate this program to be one of the standards of hip hop media, from the independent to the mainstream. And one more thing, I have a collaboration with super7.com. So if you're a collector and you like the little figures that they have, a Kwame, Jay Dilla, A Tribe Called Quest, Biggie, some of the things that was in the video like that Trav had on the video, I have those here. So hit that QR code. Heritage Hip Hop does not believe in people who create hip hop being left out. We represent those who make this culture great. That means you. We introduce you to your future favorite artists today and celebrate those who laid the foundation of this hip hop culture. So with that being said, thank you for your time. Any last words, everybody? Anything?
Go cop the album, Mad Good Records, Bandcamp page. Tapes and CDs available now.
Get that album, man. Get it.
House of Mad Good Records. Word up.
All right. And before we go, one more thing. Rest in peace to Mike C. Rest in peace to Shy Skills. Rest in peace to Power, Wu-Tang Clan. And rest in peace to Lil Papa of Jacksonville, Florida. You know what I'm saying? Death is very hard. And I don't want to, if I forgot anybody, I apologize. But we respect life, and we respect those who've given their life to this craft. So with that being said, peace. Oh, check out the new ending.
Thank you and good night. We are Heritage Hip Hop. Real hip hop. Real